Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I will show you a game happened between Nipomniachtchi Lan and Anish Giri. The game starts with Nipomniachtchi Lan. He played e4, Anish Giri played e5, then he played knight f, bishop c4. After bishop c4, black played knight f6, white played d3, black played knight c6, white played knight c3, black played bishop b4, white played an f3. The main opening setup is complete. The black played d6. White played castling. As we know, castling is the main goal in the opening. Here, black played bishop into c3. I would like to say that pause the video and think what should be the best move for black. Here, bishop into c3 is only the best move because after knight goes into knight d5, if black castles here without taking the knight, white will move to d5. Here, if black captures the white knight, white bishop will capture the knight. If white bishop comes to e6, white will play c3 and black have to go to a4, and here white will play b4. Black have to go to bishop b6 and it will be a bad position for black. So we come on the main game. Here black played bishop into c3. White took the bishop. Then white played knight f5 as he didn't want to save the bishop to that diagonal. So black wants to extend the bishop as bishop is pointing an attack on the black's king side. So black tries to exchange. White comes to bishop b3. Black plays h6. I think here black should play knight into b3, but he played h6 unfortunately. Here white played h3. Then black played queen e7. Black tries that if white brings an attack on the king side, black can castle on it on the queen side. So he plays queen e7. White plays knight h2. Here, the main idea of knight h2 is to push f4 or activate the bishop and activate the queen on the f file. So he played knight h2. If bishop moves from that diagonal, knight can white can play the knight on the g4 square and place the knight in a good square. So he played knight h2. Then white captured the bishop as a plan. Here white captured the knight with the a pawn. Here white's rook is opened in that file. Black played g5. Black wants to attack in the white's king side. White wants to open his rook because he cannot play f4 and open this file. So he played rook e1. Black wants to attack, so he first comes on the diagonal, on the line where rook and king is very effective for attack for black. Here white played knight f1. You can say why white have moved the knight to f1 square. He moved his knight because he wants to play either on the g3 or e3. He can get a posting by creating a hamper in the black's outpost in that f5 square by placing the knight into e3. After knight e3, he tries to play g4 and then capture the square on the black's outpost. So he played knight f1. As a plan, black played g4. Here white have to defense first, then white can attack because white's pieces are not active. So white played h4. Here black is still trying to attack with the pawn as pawn comes to third file for white, and after defense it could be sacrificed for another more valuable piece. Here white plays f into g3. Here white eats a pawn and opens a line for f for rook and queen. Here black played rook g6. Now you can say that what should white play? I would like to pause the game and think what should white play. Here white played b4. This is an not interesting and efficient move and it is not as well as effective because before squares only control the c pawn for coming on the c5 but nothing else. So black played knight h5 and pressured on the g3 pawn. Here white played queen into h5. Black sacrificed a knight. Here black played bishop g4. I would like to say you that please pause the video and think, because it will come an interesting, very interesting move now. So pause the video and think what is the interesting move here. Here, the best move for white will be to capture the rook with the queen. This is a very interesting and effective sacrifice. Black sacrificed his knight and white sacrificed his queen, whole queen, for only rook. Black captured the queen. White captured the pawn on h6. White moved his king up at d7. White developed his knight on the e3. Bishop moved back to e6 and defends. Rook controls an open line. Queen moves to h7. Bishop comes to g5 and controls an attack on the white, as white can go to white's rook after black plays anything like rook e8 or something. White can move his rook to f6 and will double the, after he plays any move like a6, white will double his rook and start a miscellaneous attack on black. So this attack can be very deadly. So after knight g3, white comes his bishop back. Then white plays rook f1, queen moves to h7 and bishop moves to g5. Queen moves to g8, and as I have said you that white will try to attack black by playing f6. He played this. This not only controls the attack but also enters the black's position. It can destroy black because in the king side there is 3:1 and there can be a strong pass pawn if white continues this attack for longer time. Black plays f6. This is not an effective move, but one plan is there that black can move his rook from that square, because if he moved earlier his rook from that square, the pawn at a7 will be lost. So he played a6. As I have said, white doubled rook a f1. Black played rook e8 as I have said. White played c4. Here c4 finds a plan that white can post his knight at the d5. There is a plan. Black played b6 as if knight as rook if enters the 7th square, black's king can come to f6 and move to g7. So black played b6. White posts his knight on d5. As I have said, king moved to c6 for safe. Here it is a very interesting move that rook, who have been attacking very strongly on that f file, why he comes down in an active square. I am continuing. You will see after continuation that why he have moved his rook down. Black played queen g7. White moved his king to h2 as white didn't want to get a check after moving his rook to other files. So white played king h2, and it also supports g3 pawn after moving the bishop. Here black played king b7. Here knight also comes down. White thinks of attack on the a file, because a file for black is a weak square. So black played rook a8. White played rook f6. As we know, white wants to attack black on the queen side at the first, but then black's king was supporting this bishop and not allowing that an attack for his 7th square. So after king moved to b7, white can attack in that file. Queen again moved to g8. There is no way. Here white discriminates black and tried to give a sacrifice a pawn, as if black captures any of the pawn, black's defense will be lost. So black cannot capture any of the pawn. So black queen played on the e8. Again white posted his knight to d5. Then black captures the pawn. Here white captures the pawn. and black also captures the pawn. I think at this position black's time was very less because black was playing very defensive, but why black have played like this, breaking the defensive moves. Black played b into c5. Rook comes on the b1 square and gives a check because in that line the open file for rook can be used. Black king moved to c8. Bishop moved to h6 as white can play rook f8 and a pin that can cause major problem to black. So black played king d7. White enter black's 7 square, which black was defending earlier. Here knight was very disturbing black, so black captures the knight. White also captures the bishop. Black's king moved to a safer place, but here black thinks that if white plays f8, black will capture the rook. If rook captures queen, rook captures rook, and he will be an exchange up. But here white brings his rook down at b1. King moves up, and here rook doubles. Black's rook moves to d8 as king can move to f8 and lead a defensive life. Here white played rook f8 and the only move here is queen e7, and after queen e7 white can bring his f rook to f7, and it will be a dangerous pin and it will be a loss for black. Here the Anish Giri resigns because there is no way to save his game. If you like my choose and this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. If you subscribe after 1000 subscribers, I can give you a live streaming on YouTube. We will meet again in the next video. So if you like, please like and subscribe. This is my request to you. Bye bye. We will meet again.